Movies are super screwed up. You want to know why?
No. Yes. No, I need to know.
Here's why movies are screwed up. And it's frankly, it's because movies make millions of dollars and they spend millions of dollars. Like when you start throwing on $200 million for a movie, you are screwing up the economy so bad for everybody else that doesn't have $200 million to make a movie. And you are so like warping the sense of value for the things you do on a film. Like, yeah, you guys might already know this, but Sam and I, we filmed a YouTube Red series called Lifeline.
Yep.
And it was a union shoot.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's weird. It was a weird shoot.
Why is that?
We didn't really bring anything to it. We weren't able to really bring. When you look at your final, okay, like honestly, I don't know how you do this, but internally, I have milestones for myself.
You do
as like someone working in the career of filmmaking. Like I have.
What are your milestones?
Basically, it's a meter. It's a 0 to 100% meter, basically, of when I set out to make something and I come out the other side, how close was that to what I set out to make? Like, It's like going into a blueprint for a house that's like a square, and you come out the other side with a triangle, and you go, how the hell did that happen? You know? And I wanted to make a square. Like, what went wrong? And I've noticed, like on YouTube anyways, I set out to make a square, and I get a square. I'm starting to so for me, like that's my 0 to 100. And like I'm starting to hit these like 85, 90s of like the vision, like that moth video. That is exactly what I was imagining.
Do you have 4 sides, same size, 90-degree corners?
Seriously, every single shot, every single line was so on point and so close. And so I took that as a very large personal success. But then I looked at Lifeline, and I watch it and I'm like someone else could have made that. Like I don't recognize parts of it, you know? So I don't know.
Well,
if I have to give that a number, it's like a 60. But
what happened? Like, how did that happen?
Well, I mean, you were there, but I suppose I should.
This is like me.
I'll recount this story. Well, okay. Well, I mean, let's take.
I'm just trying to be a good host.
Let's take a deeper look at it. We can take a deeper dive, because the common story is the everyman tries to make a creative vision and the man stomps on him and oppresses him and blah blah. And so, you know, any number of variants of that story is the common explanation for why something like that, like a vision or working on something creatively, could go wrong. You have other people, they have other opinions. Sometimes those opinions are louder and stronger for various reasons. And therefore things go off course, and you just hold on as tight as you can. But the deeper version is that, in a sense, you could argue we're out of our element a little bit. And it's less about other people's visions, but ours and our expectations going into it. And
how are you out of your element?
Well, the way you opened it, the union thing, the union shoot thing.
I opened it with that union thing.
Yeah, and this isn't an anti-union tirade, but you know, ultimately, you know, we're jack of all trades here on YouTube, and that environment of a union shoot is not conducive to creating the products that we create here on our own channels, in the sense that we are not allowed to hold cameras. You know, we had that call with the union rep saying, hey, this is going on our YouTube channel where we make YouTube videos of people, like, you know, blowing stuff up, and we're known for shooting all our own videos, so can we get a waiver on this union shoot? And they're like, no. It's like, let's just say that again and see if we get the same answer. Because that was like so confusing, you know? And so that was the kickoff, basically. That literally was the kickoff to us going, oh man, all right, so we're just gonna sit in these directors' chairs and like effectively like
slowly try to tell everybody what we want them to do,
like
versus just doing it ourselves,
like almost half-assedly, because like there are so many moving parts on the set, and there are so many, frankly, attitudes. It was like a bunch of like, I mean, there was great people on that set who were incredibly talented, but for them to work on a YouTube original series, many of them, including actors and crew, definitely had this. There was this aura this project was below them.
Yeah.
And that was from day one, basically. You know, it's like they're like, oh, this is beneath us. I worked on this TV show, or I worked on this movie, and now I'm working on a YouTube original. And so just
it's directed by a bunch of YouTubers.
These kids, these children, these YouTubers, you know, and
these
so
30-year-old children.
Yes. Well, we were some of the youngest people on the set.
That's true.
You know, and so it's really hard to combat that, you know, and so eventually you kind of start getting to this point where it's like, well, first off, I can't actually do anything on this set. Like, if I wanted to actually make it a true difference, other than like going around and consoling each person, like, I guess that's what directors have to do on huge sets.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, you know, they're teddy bears basically, where they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll be friends. You know, it's like, or I don't know. See, it's like this is the issue. It's like, what is the method of action to correct that course when you're on it?
Well, we talked about that actually. By the way, my
Did
favorite
we?
union bit. We did actually. My favorite union bit. No playback. Even
No
though it's
playback.
the modern era, you were using red cameras.
It's like it's going into an antique store.
You can't hit playback without a union.
You literally
position.
can't hit the play button to watch a clip you just filmed. It is
because that's a union position to do playback.
I know. See,
Yeah.
this is what we're talking about, killing jobs.
Yeah.
I know.
Those ones can
I
go
know.
away.
It's sad. It's sad that we have to talk about it like this, but ultimately that is like the true end result here. But whatever. So sorry, I didn't mean to tangent that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But we had talked about after Lifeline was finished, like what went wrong, so to speak. And for what it's worth, we're talking about Lifeline like it's some disaster. It wasn't a disaster. It's just your average TV show, which is exactly what Sam and I try not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the big thing. It's like it's the most by the books, by the numbers TV show when you watch it. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
We realize that we're just cogs in a machine. And it's a machine that no one wanted us to try to invent something new in.
Yeah. Well, and this is kind of also another issue too. This is a tangent here a little bit, but either way. So what's tough for me though with that project and Lifeline is in this world of social media and YouTube, you know, it's not like a director in the 90s who like makes a movie and then it goes out there and you're not like, oh, that sucked. And the director's like, oh, it's like, no, the director is there. Like in YouTube right now, us as directors, we're there as like almost the face on the poster too for most of these projects now. So it's like us posting Lifeline on our channel feels the same way as me going onto my personal Instagram or my personal Facebook page that my friends and family are on, and posting something there as like, here's something that represents me in my opinion. You know, it's like, no, for that, Lifeline felt like dragging my work in through the front door and like going like, I don't want to talk about it. You know, like, but everything we make is at that level though, where it's like anything that goes on the Quarter Crew or Quarter channels, and even this podcast channel, you know, it's like it's not just like, oh, here's Sam at work. It feels like here's something that has to represent me 100% when it's released.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's why I sit here thinking about these projects over and over anyways. I'm not sure if that feels the same way for you sometimes, you know, to have that separation or if they're combined. I don't know. But it's something that's been inescapable for me for the last few years.
Yeah. I mean, I always think about that stuff. I can think about old projects and what we could have done differently and, you know, what went right, what didn't. And part of Lifeline, I feel like I should have just been an asshole. I should have literally just been more of an asshole. I should have been an entitled diva director, which is what they were all expecting.
This is what they were all expecting.
Seriously.
Along.
Everybody was kind of expecting us to be assholes, and we weren't. We were nice, and we were excited.
Yeah.
And it really threw everybody
and
off.
we wanted to be very hands-on with everything. We're very excited. Yeah.
Everybody thought we
yeah.
were super inexperienced because of that. And if it's not that we're super inexperienced. It's just we've lived a happy life of being filmmakers rather than the jaded life of being part of the machine.